Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV, with the living legend, the magic man, my guy, Antonio Tarver. Antonio, Riyadh season, man. We've been seeing you as an ambassador to the Saudis, man, just really out there showing us all on your Instagram Live what this is about. Now we get to see it firsthand. Talk to us about it. What is this about?
Man, it's a change in the game, man. I think, you see every promoter is represented on this card. And I think that's the message that, that we want to send out, is that boxing is a unified sport. We got all these major promoters making business moves together, and, it's enough for everybody to win. And so, Turki Al-Sheikh came over here and put it all together. Crawford, Madrimov, and the first one here in America. And, man, the people have came out. It's a sold-out crowd, I heard. And by the press conference, by the weigh-in, man, it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal. The biggest card of the year. And I think it's a new start for it's time for boxing fans to get excited.
Tony, it's awesome that you talk about that, man. When we talk about the fight that is Madrimov, Crawford moving up to his fourth weight division, seeking his fourth set of belts. Exactly what do you think has to happen for Crawford to carry the evening versus Madrimov, a guy who's surging in his own right at the 154-pound title, and quite frankly, he doesn't know how to lose either?
I think Crawford got to be himself. And with this mental approach, I think he's right where he needs to be. He's locked in. I don't think he took this guy for granted. And if he didn't, then he covered all the bases, crossed all the T's and dotted the I's. And, 54 might be, his most comfortable division thus far. He told you himself on the scale, 47 was extremely hard. 54 was hard too, but he got it done. And so when we talk about weight and pounds, and Crawford is 37, maybe he's just growing naturally into and filling out a little bit more because his muscles look full. You saw that, he was ripped. His muscles look full, and probably by 24 hours, he might be even more muscular. So, this might be his best weight class. I don't think he'll have a problem or struggle with the Madrimov being bigger and stronger. I think Madrimov is going to feel his power too. And I believe what Madrimov has to do to win this fight is get Terence Crawford attention early. And that's the rule of thumb for all these fighters in these big fights. Get your respect. Got to crack that guy early. Let him know, I'm here to win. I ain't just here to show up. Now, if he do that, and then the best fighter gonna win. And at the end of the day, I believe Crawford got just more in his bag. This guy only have 10 fights. We haven't seen a lot of them. Maybe they know more than we know. But I know one thing, it's levels to this. And you ain't about to be fighting a regional guy and then jump right up to pound for pound greatest. You feel me? And that's just it's a stretch. And so we're going to see if those first 1, 2, 3 rounds or need any adjustments for Madrimov. His speed, maybe bring it up a little bit, his energy, we don't know. We'll see. But I believe Crawford going to come out and be the veteran that he is and set the stage for the fight. Even though he's the challenger, he's going to fight this fight as if he's the champion with that type of confidence. And, I just think 10 fights is not enough to prepare you for a guy like Bud Crawford.
Crawford's team has been adamant and let me know. I talked to Coach Red earlier. I talked to Coach Bomack earlier. They let me know that the difference in that weight, the difference in those pounds is tremendous, that Crawford is as strong as he's ever been. What do you think when a guy finally gets to maybe have a little bit more protein in the meals, maybe sleep a little bit better because he's not hurting from cutting the weight, so much weight? What kind of difference do you think that could make in a guy that's been kind of really breaking himself down to get to a weight class when he doesn't anymore?
A big difference, because that's a mental strain on your body and on your head, on your mind. When you losing those last 4, 5 pounds, it's crucial, bro. And if you haven't gone through that, you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's crucial. And when you don't have to do that, you can make weight a little bit more comfortable. But again, he said 54 was tough. So it lets you know how tough it's been for him to make 47. And for him to be able to perform like that. I believe he'll have more energy. I believe he'll be more energized because he got more oxygen in his blood. He ain't, really, he's really not emaciated or nothing like that.
Right.
You know, when your blood and shit start to be affected. I think he's as healthy as he's been, and if he feel good, it's going to show in the fight. You know what I mean? It's going to show in the fight that he feel real good. He didn't really have to struggle. And I think that's going to play into Crawford's hand. I think he might be stronger, more powerful at 54. And if he's that type of fighter, scary.
Champ, talk to us about the intricacies of the combat inside of the ring. Madrimov, a guy, you watch his tape, a switch hitter. He's got a sudden straight right hand. He's got a little bit in his tool bag and his 10
He got
fights.
a really sneaky left hook that he throws in there like unexpectedly. So that's why I say early Crawford going to have his head on a swivel. But that's any world-class fighter in there with top fighters. You got to have your head on a swivel. I mean, you can't be on offense when you need to be on defense. You feel me? And you got to be patient. Real poise in there and let it come to you. I think it's a lot on Madrimov, too. He's never been on this big stage. You know, that's some getting used to. He ain't never been to the Olympics.
And I wanted to touch on that, Champ. You, the legend that you are, once upon a time, it was the first time that we saw Antonio Tarver on the biggest stage when we saw you step up against Roy Jones Jr. The hunger, Madrimov, kind of a guy that holds it all inside. You talk to him, he doesn't really give you a whole lot in either direction.
He's reserved.
Just a real reserve guy. But you know what it's like to step up to that big time. What's going through a guy like his mind stepping up to the creme de la creme of the fight game? You, a guy that knows that.
It depends on how he really sees himself. Internally, how he really sees himself when he look in the mirror. Those are the questions that got to be answered. What you think Crawford think and what he see when he look in the mirror? That's what Madrimov have to be feeling like. But I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what he's been through. You know, that's for his team to understand what he's overcame and had to overcome. But that is the mark of a champion. You understand me? What you overcame and what you're willing to go through to get what you need to get. And that's that crown. You know, how hard would he fight to hold on to it when he feel like everything's slipping away? You feel me? If he get hurt, if he's smart enough to buy himself some time, or is he gonna crash out by having too much heart and not enough of this? See, you gotta be smart, bro. Calculating, cunning. You feel me? It's 3-card Marley in that ring, bro. Can't let them know when you coming, where you coming, how you coming, no kind of way. And if Madrimov have that type of fight in him, then it's the challenge of a life for Terence Crawford. But, you know, we don't run from that either. We step up to challenges like that. And so this is all that's going to show us what Terence Crawford is truly made of and how bad Madrimov want to hold his title, what he's willing to go through to keep that belt. So that's what the fight gonna boil down to, man. And I just believe, like I said, the way Crawford approached these fights, man, mentally, bro, like he got the right mindset. You feel me? He's got built like that, bro. This ain't no game. You know, when a guy talk, you can tell a guy when he's promoting, when he's selling something. They thought I was a big promoter, but go back and look at my tapes, bro. I said everything I meant and I stood on it. Never was I was promoting me, but I meant everything I said every time. So, you know, that's what it is, man. And I think when I look back, I can sometimes say, if I would have did this, I would have did that. If I would have overlooked this, overlooked that. You know, in my rematches, I always show that, you know, I can come back from an off night. And that's not easily done. When a guy beats you the first time, you go beat him the second time. That's the same thing Tyson Fury is faced with. He got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how he going to beat Usyk this time. Take it out the judge's hand. That's the best way to assure victory. But I don't know if they don't know. Is that their train of thought? I don't know. It would be my train of thought. If I was facing Usyk again, that would be my train of thought.
Naturally, concerns in regards to Tyson Fury, the video seeing him walking out of the pub, truly inebriated, actually doing a face plant in a video that somebody got. Looks like he might have been coming out the club drunk, maybe celebrating who knows what. Antonio, I want to ask you, you talked about earlier about a guy with the fight of a lifetime. Fight of a lifetime, Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Rayo Valenzuela. Rayo Valenzuela arguably in the fight of a lifetime versus the Pitbull off the chain, August 3rd here at BMO Stadium. Talk to us about that matchup and how you see that playing out.
You know, I got to go back and look at their last fight. I always do. And even though, you know, Pitbull won that fight, the jab was missing. And I believe he's going to need that jab tomorrow night. You know, he got in, he threw the bombs he wanted to, but he never really worked behind that jab. And I think if he would have worked behind that jab, he could have controlled his opponent a lot more. If Pitbull don't have a jab against Valenzuela, it's going to be some issues. This kid can box well enough to keep this shit in the middle of the ring and give Pitbull's angles, and with that style Pitbull got, if this kid is focused on that jab, he can offset Cruz a lot of ways. He's got taller than Cruz, he got reach, and he know how to box. He's not a knockout puncher, but he's a sharp puncher. You saw that against Colbert. Guy can crack against Colbert. You feel me? So Pitbull got to be on his best game. And then I like the way his management moved his kid, gave his kid this fight, because what else they gonna do? Fight top 10 guys and mess around, stub your toe? No, it's a fight for him to win it all in one night. He got to get it right. He just got to go through Pitbull. If he can avoid that big knockout shot and probably force Pitbull to fight from behind, he got to win the early stage of the fight. First 3 rounds, important. If he can box and put Pitbull behind those scorecards, it can get challenging. It can get challenging because the boy know how to really use his 2 hands. He's not that big of a puncher, but he know how to box.
Great fight. Both guys, Pitbull Cruz coming off a destruction of Rolly Romero last time out. Rayo Valenzuela coming off of the KO of the year versus Chris Colbert. I want to touch on another fight there, and it's Andy Ruiz versus Israil Miller. Israil Miller, very vocal. I walked down to the weigh-in with Israil Miller earlier. Israil Miller let me know that he feels like he needs to put a serious beat down on Andy Ruiz out of respect for their friendship. Talk to us about that. What do you think happens in that fight? And do you think that Israil Miller is just selling himself in the fight? Or do you think that with the loss of the 50 pounds prior to the fight that he's coming to be victorious?
Well, he lost 50 pounds, so I think, you know, his work ethic got him feeling real good. My thing was, I told Big Baby Miller, bro, if you 299, I like you against anybody. But if you 300, I don't like it. He came in 305. I want to see him 299.
Miami-Dade County.
Give me 2 anything. Give me 2 anything, Big Baby. Just don't give me that 3, baby. I can't do nothing with the 300. You feel me? So I think he did work hard for this fight. I went with him one day. I wish we could have bottled that shit up that we had in Miami that one day. You feel me? But, you know, Big Baby always had the ability. You know that. Big Baby always had the ability.
Bud Crawford, Shakur Stevenson walking by there.
Yeah. It's all good. And Big Baby always had the ability, man. He got skills. But everybody always wondered, was his commitment and determination that? So we'll see tomorrow. And Ruiz been out a long time, too.
2-year layoff,
you know
coming off of shoulder surgery.
Yeah, so Andy Ruiz is coming off a lot that he's going to have to overcome, too. You know, damn, you just made me think of something, yeah. So Big Baby close to 200, 299, but he didn't make it. It's a pick'em fight, man. I mean, it's whoever wanted baddest. Whoever wanted the worst, they're going to put out. You know what I mean? They're going to stay focused. They're not going to get distracted when that fight get tough. And whoever does that, I think they're going to, I want to see Big Baby. I'm rooting for him, bro. I'm rooting for him. I really am.
Another guy that is an underdog, Martin Bacoli, fighting Jared Anderson, the other Big Baby on the card. A knockout artist, unknown to the folks here in the United States. What do you think he has to do to go up against a guy who looks like he's just been destroying giants? Any big guy that stands in front of Jared Anderson is in true danger of being knocked out. What do you think happens?
I saw that Bacoli and Michael Hunter fight. That's the same type of fight that Anderson need to just be quick, be the small heavyweight, and make this big guy move around a little bit. But you can't stand in there and let the guy line you up. You can't trade with a guy like this. You know, and if Anderson can stick and move, fight like a lighter heavyweight, combination punches, I think it spells success for him. But he can't get cracked. We saw him get hurt a couple times against Prince Charles. You know, I don't think he can afford to get cracked by this guy. Man, the man, and what I like about Boli is he punches back when you throw punches at him. For a big guy, he punches right back. He ain't finna sit there. You hit him, he trying to get that right back. And so he's a big guy. He plots, but he got good footwork.
He can do a backflip, bro.
He got good footwork. So he, as big as he looked, he was a little bit more athletic than a lot of people give him credit for. He let his punches go. Active heavyweight. So it's going to be an interesting fight. If Anderson can look good beating this guy, it really proves that he can handle the size of these guys. He's capable of beating anybody. This dude's 6'8", ain't it 6'6"? What this dude is 6'6", something like that?
He like a solid 6'5".
6'5", 6'6". So this gonna show everybody that it don't matter how big you are. Anderson can handle you if he can handle this guy tomorrow night. You know, they got Anderson a slight favorite, but for a guy traveling so far and he's unknown, he should be a bigger favorite. And I don't know what they see in that fight, but he should be a bigger favorite, I think.
And then lastly for me, Canelo Alvarez.
Bro, I think he wants the first card on the one no one knows the names of.
Canelo Alvarez just signed up to fight Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga, we saw him back at MGM a couple months ago, really vying to fight Canelo Alvarez. Wins the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. How do you see that fight going?
Oh, man, I can't go against Canelo on that fight. I know Berlanga is going to promote this fight. You know, he might convince a lot of people, but from what I've seen on tape, that's all I can go by. You know, unless Canelo slows down tremendously before the fight, I don't see how Berlanga can win it. I don't see him taking those shots. Yeah, I don't see him taking those shots and standing up to those shots. And if he can do that, maybe he can last. I don't know. But what Berlanga gonna shoot at Canelo, that's really gonna unnerve him. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. But, you know, I've been wrong before. And I hope Berlanga put on the best show he could. I hope he performed at his best. But I just don't think it'll be enough to dethrone Canelo.
Well, there you have it. That's Tarver's take. Marcus Hayes with Fight Hub TV with my guy, Antonio Tarver.
Yes, sir.
Magic Man as usual.
All right, brother.
Thank you, my guy.
Thank you so much for watching this video. And make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Hub TV. And give us a follow online as well at Fight Hub TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.